Welcome to the future of social media. Yes! What a room! What a place. Look at everyone. I don't know if everyone's managed to say hello to everyone yet, but my God, there's some sharks in this room. You need to say hello to everyone. You need to get talking to everyone. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal room. But I've brought you all together specifically. Now, this was an invite-only event. Because I want to craft a vision and I want to share a dream, and I need your help to get there. The reason I brought you here tonight to the Zoology Museum in particular is because we need to study the old. I don't know if anyone, did you manage to have a look around? Yes. Okay, so we need to study the old to understand the present, and we need to understand the present to understand the future. We're at a time in AI where the internet was in 1997, and that creates a huge opportunity, especially in a problem that is social media. We've heard from the panel, we've heard from Stephen. Everyone knows it's an opportunity, but everyone's frustrated with it and bogged down by it. And tonight's not just a celebration, although it feels like a massive celebration. It's a total shift in the way that we see marketing, and there's a reason why the panel might have seemed strange, but we had sort of tech meeting creativity, meeting marketing. It's a whole new way of seeing social media and thinking about the power of data-driven decisions. Because for years, we've watched social media evolve from a creative playground into an overwhelming battlefield, right? Anyone just this isn't fun anymore. It's full on. There's more content, more platforms, more data, more expectation. But despite the endless tools that are at our disposal, social media still feels like a gamble. People don't put their money into it, companies don't put their money into it, especially organic. Paid, they feel, I'm gonna get onto paid, but it feels like a massive gamble. Marketeers are drowning in data. I should know, I own a company that does this. But we're starving for clarity. We're working harder than ever. Proving ROI remains an uphill battle. And the biggest irony is that the very platforms we rely on for communication with audiences are keeping the insights we need to succeed out of reach. Purposefully, they profit off of it. Fake gurus that tell us stuff that doesn't really apply to us or is outdated, or it really, really worked for them to grow, but it's actually really not applicable to anyone else. We can't track our ROI, so we're not able to prove why it works. We know it works somehow, but we're not able to replicate it, we're not able to prove it, so it feels like a massive waste of money. There's changing preferences, emerging generations, faster news cycles than it is on the actual news happening on social media. We just can't keep up. It's a massive resource pit. I own a content creation company, and I've made it as accessible as possible for people to create content. But you need big budgets to play. We've gone from being able to put one cool picture with a white frame on it on Instagram, putting a massive filter on the top of it and being able to make money out of it, to making mini adverts every single time we create content. And I know I'm talking myself of a job because I own the company that does it, but man alive, it costs a lot of money. You have to pay for videographers, photographers, graphic designers, copywriters, data strategists, social media strategists. If you look at a company like Stephen Bartlett, easy 250 grand a year on just his content team. There's a massive data overload, and this is a huge problem, and the companies profit off of it. They keep it confusing because it makes them money. They feel, you see Adam Mosseri popping up on Instagram if you just look at your insights, you'll know what to do. But there's so much. And there's only 4 companies, I could go off on one. There's only 4 companies that own all of the data in the world at the moment, and it's a real problem. They're making it massively confusing. And to make it easier, just pay for it. Just spend your money on ads. We've got companies that have a massive over-reliance upon ads for performance. I was talking to a paid growth social media lead the other day. She started off 2 years ago with a 30 grand a month budget for paid ads. She now spends 300 grand a month for the same results because they squish the outcome, and then you need more money to play for the same result. It's not fucking fair. We're literally giving these companies our data and our money. to be able to make our companies grow. It creates a huge barrier to entry. And we have limited integration and awareness of a macro vision. So this isn't something that many people think about, but if you think about it on a macro scale, and you think about the fact that we get bogged down in, like I said, the size of an Instagram picture, whereas actually we should be thinking about, can we capture people on TikTok and convert them on LinkedIn? How are our audience moving in the social field? When they are online, what's happening? We need to think macro instead of thinking very linear about these things. And another thing that people don't talk about is the carbon footprint of social media. Social media accounts for 5% of global greenhouse emissions, which is double the airline industry, because a lot of it is shit. Like literally, it's a problem that no one talks about, but it's huge. The servers, the amount of data, the amount of energy that goes into creating things, and the videos need more and more energy to just get out there. It's a huge resource pit. So huge carbon footprint. So it's a big, big problem that no one's really, we get so bogged down in the minutiae of it, we're not thinking about the big picture. But this changes tonight. Because I've thought about it. I built Clue.Labs because someone has to. It's the revolution in marketing intelligence. I was tired of watching brilliant companies and teams waste energy, waste time, waste resources trying to make sense of messy data. And I'm tired of gut feeling decisions when we should be operating with precision. And I'm tired of social media feeling like a mystery, when reality, it can be a formula. The amount of data that's available, why can't we figure it out for ourselves? And really, when you have enough data to analyze, it's been proven time and time again. We have data scientists, we have Cambridge, based on an analysis of data to make sure that we can think about the future properly. When you have enough data to analyze, you can make intelligent When you have enough data to analyze, you can make intelligent decisions and predictions. And we have enough data. So we've cracked the code. We thought that we should start analyzing our data properly. We should start thinking about social media logically instead of gut-driven. We should start thinking about setting proper goals for ROI. What do we actually want out of this social media? Like how, we put so much money and time in socials, like why aren't we thinking about what it's giving us? We know instinctively it's growing our companies, but why can't we track that? Why can't we be in charge of that? Why can't we post less for higher outcomes? I don't know about you, but every single person, I've said it before, every single expert's like, if you want more out of social media, post more. Just post more, because we know that posting more works. But why should we have to? Why should we have to double our budgets? Why should we have to double our, get into creative burnout, trying to come up with really cool ideas for social media and TikTok? We should be posting less for higher outcomes. We should also be posting less because of the carbon footprint that it has that it emits. We should have a data feedback loop. We should be able to understand what happens on social media, to feed it back into how we can improve, to understand things as we go. We should have machine learning. We should be using the tools at our disposal, AI, to be able to use these really intelligent systems to learn about ourselves, to create that personalization for ourselves. And we should have deep analysis and prediction. We should have Clue.Labs. Because that's what it does. It's a baby at the moment because it's baby tech, but that is what it does. And Clue.Labs is more than an analytical tool. It's a game changer. It's the first technology of its kind in organic social media. It tracks your marketing funnel across every stage, so from awareness to interest, to consideration, to conversion. We use proven marketing techniques. It's not just, I want more followers, or I want more click-throughs. I actually want more awareness, or I want more interest, or I want more consideration, or I want more conversion. Because there's multiple followers. It's not a trackable one data set. Why aren't we analyzing full data sets together, really looking through how people are moving through our social media channels? And then just tell you what's working and what to do next, so that you're not wasting your time. And we are not here to give you raw data. We are here to give you answers. Imagine a world where your content strategy isn't just good, it's scientifically optimized. Where you don't just analyze competitors, you outperform them. And where you don't have to justify your marketing spend because you can actually prove the impact with undeniable clarity. But let me be clear, because we're not here to play small. I am not here to just tell you what to post next on social media. I am here to absolutely revolutionize the game. One day I will be in a lift. Ruben's had to leave, but he said to me, what would you do if you met Mark Zuckerberg? I'd be like, I'd be in a lift with him and I'd point him in the eye and say, I'm the reason why your ad spend is down at least 30% in the UK. And I'm the reason why everyone's thriving in the UK economy on social media, because I friggin' took it from you. We want to redefine the way that not only businesses compete, but governments, content creators understand and execute their marketing. We want to bring predictability to organic growth. We want to give marketing teams the power to win without guesswork. And most importantly, we want to make social media success accessible, because democratizing growth isn't just a tagline, it's a friggin' movement. Because can you imagine if you take these small steps, this way of thinking about social media, you could imagine a world where you could change smoking habits through targeted intelligent social media because you actually understood what might work. You could change the sentiment of a local high street by working with local retailers and creating predictable outcomes through social media marketing. You could imagine a world where you could predict fluctuations in the stock market through the analysis of social media through social media sensitive companies. And you could imagine a world where you could map macro movements of audiences across brands. You know, you could track from, and I'll get into it, but people, you know, your audience interacts in the same way the Nike audience does. How are we going to work with that? What do these partnerships look like? Organic social media analysis and predictable outcomes are in our grasp, and it's actually ours for the taking. We are the people creating the data for these companies. We deserve to make it work for ourselves. So, to every marketing manager, social media lead, business owner, founder, content creator, influencer, personal brand, thought leader, government department, research company, and every brand that has felt the frustration of scattered strategies and unclear insights, this is your moment. Clue.Labs is the partner you've been waiting for, because tonight we don't just launch a platform, we launch a new era in marketing intelligence. Welcome to the future. Welcome to Clue.Labs. So I want to just take you on a little personal and company mission. If you want to fill up your glasses, go for a wee, that's fine. I'm going to keep talking. We've got big goals. I have been working in social media for a long time. I've owned my own business since I was 17, and quite frankly, I've got to the point where it's all come out of frustration and a vision to leave social media in a better place than we found it, which is actually, I think, on the next slide. To democratize social media and leave it in a better place than we found it. It used to be easy, it's hard. We all think, oh, we'll just post this, we'll just post a few sentences on LinkedIn. It's not realistic, it's not going to compete. So I really, really, really want to democratize social media and make it a better place than we found it. And not only on a small, I have a really big vision, it's not only on a smaller sort of people-to-people scale, but it's also on a business-to-business scale, but it's also looking at big problems that exist. The emergence of populism in Eastern Europe, Donald Trump getting into power. Sorry if I'm gonna get a little political here, but the rise of separation of ideologies because we're sort of pushed that way through social media. This kind of stuff is happening by companies that have access and the budgets to understand data on a macro level. So we need to be, we're the people that are populating these companies with the data. We're the people that are populating these companies with the budgets. So we actually should be understanding it ourselves. So the next 5 years, my goal is to do that. We have 3 arms to the company. The first has already been set up, it's running really well. Clue Content, where we make data-led, human-made content creation accessible. Actual content creation should always be made by a human. I know you can generate things with AI, but I don't believe in it. I think the panel was phenomenal. The bringing together of actual people making the content, empowering our creative industries, but giving them a framework to work from is really important. Clue.Labs, which I've set up, which is wholly dedicated to the research and analysis of social media data and passing it back to everybody. And eventually Clue Hubs, which will be national studio spaces to move content creation outside of inner city hubs and empower creative communities and small local businesses to compete. Also, Clue.Labs is going to be all over the country and people are going to have to make their stuff, so just going to make it accessible for them. I've given everyone, I've purposely invited everyone here tonight because I've given you a little personal ask, and you probably already read it, but I have sat and thought a long time about the guest list and a long time about what I'm thinking, and so on the back of your sort of welcome things, I've written a personal ask to help us get this to where it needs to be, because nobody has a clue, but we should. Thank you.